Hey there, Internet friends. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Daphne's Detention. Hey, welcome back to Daphne's Detention. So today, this episode, we will be going over Jack and Lilly Sullivan, the two missing children from PICTOU, Landsdowne Station, Nova Scotia. And they've been missing since May 2nd, 2025. There's been a lot of scrutiny around this case and a lot of drama. And I want to make a dedication video for these two children. I feel that there's much sadness in this case, and there has been a lot of voices that have been speaking up for them, but still no answers to where they might be. So I've made a little documentary here for you, and I'm going to go over the timeline and just go through some photos and bring an awareness video for them. As you know, I've been following this case since day one, since they've been missing. And I want to show you the area in which Jack and Lilly went missing while I go through a timeline with you. So please, if you've never been here before, thank you so much for coming to this channel and giving your time to watch out for Jack and Lilly. They are really missed. They're precious. And I think this really hits home because, I just couldn't imagine if something like this happened to my children. And I couldn't imagine what the family it must feel like, not knowing where their two precious loved ones are. So let's get started in this video. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to show you a little bit of the area which Jack and Lilly live in while we go through the timeline. So the morning began at 6 a.m. Maleya Brooks Murray had her alarm set for 6 a.m. She quickly hit the snooze button to where it went off again at 6:15 a.m., right? And they slept inside a small rundown trailer where Jack and Lilly lived with their mother, Maleya Brooks Murray, their toddler sibling, and their common-law stepfather, Daniel Martell. So around 6:15 a.m., Maleya woke up. Around this same period of time, she would eventually mark Jack and Lilly absent from school for the day between 6:15 to 6:17. Shortly after waking, Maleya got out of bed and brought their couple's toddler into the bedroom. She was actually sleeping in a crib right next to the bed, and they placed her in between. Maleya placed her in between her and Daniel. So according later to some text messages from Maleya, Maleya said that Daniel was asleep from approximately 6:18 a.m. until around 9:40 a.m. Jack and Lily's bedroom was located right next door, and Maleya stated she could normally hear the children moving and playing around, and she did that morning. She heard the children that morning playing. So now activity around the property. Now they live in a trailer, and not too far away, maybe about 50 to 75 feet away, you have an RV. And in that RV, Jack and Lily's step-grandmother, her name is Janie McKenzie. This is Daniel's mother and the children's step-grandmother. She lived in this RV parked right outside the trailer. She said that she could hear everything that goes on living there. Around 6 a.m., Janie had also she just woke up. She also missed a phone call from her brother, Ron, who lives right down the road. Janie began her usual morning routine, having a cigarette, drinking some tea, and letting her chickens out for the day. After finishing her morning tasks, Janie went back inside her RV where she said she was scrolling on the Timu app playing a game and maybe scrolling through Facebook as well. At some point, she dozed off. Now, meanwhile, at 8:28 a.m., Maleya had placed a phone call to her mother. The call was missed, so there was never any interaction there. Now, this is stated in the unredacted documents. Now, not long ago, after 8:48 a.m., Janie received another call from her brother Ron asking if she wanted to go into town with him. Janie declined the invitation and eventually dozed off again inside the RV. Now, at some point later on in the morning, Janie said that she heard voices of Jack and Lilly playing outside near their swing set, believing the children were simply outside playing, and she went to sleep. Now, I just want to add on to this that usually when Jack and Lilly were outside, Maleya had mentioned that Janie would, usually send her a text message or a phone call letting her know that Jack and Lilly were outside. But for some reason this morning, she did not do this. So later on, Janie had woke up again to her dog barking and to the sound of Daniel Martell, her son, shouting from outside the trailer's sliding door, calling out for Jack and Lilly. However, Janie didn't get up to check. She later explained that she assumed Daniel was simply yelling at Jack to not let the chickens out, something that had apparently happened quite often. So Janie once again went back to sleep. Now, eventually Janie woke up again and stepped outside. That's when she saw Maleya standing in front of the trailer, holding Maleya and Daniel's toddler on her right hip. Janie asked her, "Hey, what's going on?" And Maleya replied, "Jack and Lilly are missing." Janie says, "For how long?" Maleya replied, 20 minutes, as Maleya was placing the 911 call. Now, inside the house, Daniel had already been searching the entire trailer for Jack and Lilly. When he couldn't find them, he went outside and began to search the nearby woods, including an area where the children had built a small fort made out of sticks. Now, the 10:01 a.m. call. So, this 10:01 a.m. call that Maleya had placed to 911, it was during this moment that Janie was told the children were missing. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Janie quickly went back inside her RV to grab her coats and boots before heading into the woods to help to search. While searching, she eventually met with Daniel, her son, in the woods, and the two decided they would go separate ways and search different locations in hopes of covering more ground. Daniel returned to the trailer briefly, where he grabbed his set of keys and his clothing, and he then took Maleya's white Nissan Pathfinder and drove down Lansdowne Road, where his father and uncle lives. While searching the area, Daniel said he checked culverts, ditches, and water-filled areas, claiming that in some places the water reached up to his waist. After checking the roadside areas and surrounding land, Daniel eventually made his way back to the property at 1407 Gairloch Road. Now, by that time Daniel returned, law enforcement had already arrived. According to reports, officers with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police arrived at the home approximately at 10:27 a.m., where they began speaking with Maleya and assessing the situation. At that point, the search for Jack and Lilly Sullivan was officially underway. So, what happened to the children after that morning remains the central question in this case. And as investigators began digging deeper into the timeline, many details from those early hours would come under close scrutiny. But it all began with the events of May 2nd, 2025, a morning that started like any other and quickly turned into a mystery that continues to raise s- serious questions. Now, you guys have seen the terrain as I've shown you in this video here. Two children can get lost very easily. Now, there was some small details, and I'm going to show you what was found during. So, not much was found according to searchers. They actually exhausted the search at a cluster of boot prints found on the pipeline, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. There was a pink blanket that was found hanging up in a tree. That's what we were told. And like a bath towel, it was just hanging there like a bath towel. It was found by Maleya Brooks Murray's brother and his girlfriend. Now, they quickly, they quickly sent a text message to Maleya and asked her, "Is this Lily's blanket or does this belong to Lily?" And she said, "Yes, it does belong to Lily." So they quickly told the RCMP, and the RCMP went to retrieve this blanket. This was around 3:45 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the first day of the search. Now, here is a look at where they found the pink blanket and the cluster of boot prints. Now, some may say that these boot prints don't belong to neither of the children, since there was really no footprints leading up to or away from the cluster. There was literally just a cluster of footprints. So, like for instance, think of like three there was supposedly three prints, right? And one of the boot prints actually matched what Lily would be wearing. Malaya had purchased some boots at a Walmart, and one of the searchers had went through bank records and receipts and actually took the time to go to Walmart and correlate with the receipt and the boots on the shelves to make a match of what Lily was wearing. Now, the other footprints or boot prints there weren't really described. I do remember hearing something as in one was a larger boot print or footprint. So would it had been Jack's, but they were able to confirm the one print on the pipeline did match something that Lily would have been wearing, as there was like a number 29 stamp on. So they made a casting of these prints, right? Of the ones that they could make out. They made a casting, and in that casting, it was able to pull a number 29, which matched exactly what Malaya had purchased at Walmart, which was a size 11 boot. Now, Malaya had said that, Lily wore a size 13, but she ended up buying a size 11 that day at Walmart. And this was, in fact, confirmed by searchers. It is referenced in the unredacted documents as well. Now, this isn't too far away from the children's home where this blanket and boot print was located. It's about, I think around 1 mile away from the house. And in this particular area, it's close to where we have Daniel Martell's father, his uncle, and his mother, Janie McKenzie, who lives in the RV on the property where the children went missing. She actually owns some other land, and I believe it's around 7 acres, she stated. And this acreage is right in the area of where uh, the boot prints and the blanket was located. So it was around the same vicinity. That's what I'm going to say here. Now, this was the only thing that was found. I know that in one interview, Janie McKenzie had mentioned a boot print actually found in the driveway of their home in the driveway area, and it was just one boot print, she said, and she doesn't know really anything else about it. The searchers looked at it, I guess, and there was nothing said in the documents about this one boot print in the driveway. It didn't really lead anywhere else. Now we do know that it had been kind of raining that day. It wasn't raining hard or anything like that, but it had been wet and moist outside and cold. So you would think, just being logical here, that there would be way more footprints, boot prints, or something that Jack and Lilly would have left. Now, I want to show you a earlier interview. It's about 5, 6 months ago. And this is the stepfather, Daniel Martell. He goes through a timeline of events that morning. And I think it's pretty interesting to listen to. Okay, so on this timeline, this is from Maleya Brooks Murray. Maleya says, I heard the kids in the morning, yes. Daniel was sleeping beside me the entire time from 6:11 to around 9:40 a.m. So if you remember correctly in the beginning, Maleya's alarm went off at 6 o'clock. She hit the snooze, woke up at 6:15, and then quickly checked Jack and Lilly out of school within minutes apart from one another. Now, she said Daniel was asleep from 6:11 to around 9:40. Well, Maleya had gotten out of bed to grab their toddler, who was sleeping in the crib next to them at this time. She put the toddler in between her and Mr. Martell. So when Daniel woke up, he said that Maleya had the toddler in bed with them, and he doesn't think that she woke up. Well, Maleya had gotten up at some point, as we know, because she had to mark Jack and Lilly out, and she grabbed the toddler to put in between both of them. So Maleya continues to say, that is the best estimate I can give at the moment because I was in and out of sleep, dozing off that morning. I then called the police. It says 10:10 here, but I believe she called them at 10:01. She said Jack and Lilly, she could hear them in their bedroom next to us. She said that she wasn't aware that Jack and Lilly had went outside, as Janie has stated earlier in her interview. So in this next clip, Daniel's going to explain the first thing that he does when he wakes up. And according to Maleya's timeline, this would have been at 9:40 a.m.
Wake up Maleya's right beside me, and she says, "You like hear the kids?" And then I listen for a few seconds. I said, "No, I don't hear them." So first thing I do is when I don't hear them, I get up and I, get dressed, and me and her make our way out to the kitchen. And this thing I still find odd to this day, I told investigators this, is Maleya didn't look in Jack and Lily's room when we walked to the kitchen, right?
Okay.
So I found that odd because we both walked up together up the hallway to the kitchen. And then I poked my head I looked into the living room, didn't see the kids.
See, there's something that I'm missing here. What time was Daniel out of bed to go and check or go and yell for the kids out the sliding back door, because Janie said that she had dozed off some, if you remember that correctly. Remember when she said that she heard Daniel screaming out the back sliding door for Jack and Lilly, and she dozed back off because she figured that, hey, uh, he was just yelling, so Jack wouldn't let my chickens out again. Do you guys remember that? If you do, put a 1 in the chat. You remember her saying that she already let her chickens out that morning around 7 o'clock, and Jack usually lets her chickens out. So she had already let them out or something of that matter, right? Do you guys remember that? Now, I do. Now, let's listen to what Daniel says here.
Underneath their beds and stuff. Didn't see them. So then we made our way outside, right? Maleya stood in the kitchen when I was running like a moron through the house looking for the kids. And we made our way outside. We got through the fence, and then we're standing right in front of Mom's RV, and she asked me, should I call 911? Right. That's, see them in there. I didn't know if Mom was even home or not, right? Because I thought she might have went with my Uncle Ron.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on the phone with 911. I run up into the woods where the cabins are. And looking around them, I'm screaming out, Lilly and Jack. And then I make my way down. There's a hill behind Mom's RV. I make my way down, and Maleya's standing there. I'm not sure if she's still on the phone with 911. She might have been on speakerphone. It looks like she was messaging, but she might have been on speakerphone with that, with the dispatch. And so I say, I'm jumping in the car. So I ran inside. I tried to go into the front door. Door's locked. Ran through the back door, the back sliding door, got into the house, grabbed the keys off the end table, because there was 2 sets of keys, right? And then I did my phone, like I can use it. So my phone on the end table, I'm on the end table. Investigators would know that for 100%. So grab the keys, ran out to the Nissan Pathfinder, and that's when I started to search the dirt roads and the culverts, right? So I went up Landsdowne Road, and I already told investigators that blank's not there.
Direction were you?
That would be when I'm coming out the end of the driveway, and I'm going right toward Lansdowne Road, over the tracks, and then hard right.
So you were coming in the direction that was invisible to you, and you didn't see it.
I'd be going. Right
across the railroad tracks, and then the right up of the dirt road.
Yeah, that's Lansdowne Road where the blanket was found.
All right. So when you're running around and as you're going outside and you're looking, that gate outside, is it always open? Was it unlocked? Was it locked?
Sometimes it's open.
Was it open that morning?
I do not remember that. I don't remember if
So now that we've went through the morning timeline, there are still so many questions that have not been answered. There's been a lot of inconsistent statements within this timeline. I have pointed them out along with others, but the main question is, where is Jack and Lilly? They had basically the largest search ever for Jack and Lilly here in Canada, and still they have not been found. They use drones, dogs, sonar, helicopters. They still cannot find them. what actually happened that morning? What actually happened that morning with Jack and Lilly? Some say that Jack and Lilly disappeared Thursday after they got home. The last time that they were actually seen on camera was at the Dollarama when they were out running errands that morning. The RCMP had grabbed camera footage from the Dollarama and actually witnessed Jack and Lilly coming out of the store around 2:45 p.m. And shortly after that, they headed towards the house, and they stopped at this place called Acropole, and they got something called poutine. And I guess, they shared some food and then at the house. And then Maleya said that she had a video call with her mom. This would have been around 3:30 in the afternoon. The document stated that Jack and Lilly were seen, on this video call. And then everything kind of starts getting wonky with the timeline. Maleya said that, Jack and Lilly were outside. Janie, step grandmother, said that Jack and Lilly were outside. So Daniel said that he was fixing a fence with his mother. He had to go look for his tools. It took him a while, but he was able to find his tools. And at this time, Jack and Lilly should have been outside with Daniel, Janie, right, while they were fixing the fence. Come 8:30, Daniel and Janie both said they went inside, and he didn't remember seeing Jack and Lilly inside the house at that time. But Maleya stated in the documents that, she put Jack and Lilly to sleep at 10 o'clock at night. She says they were hyper and excitable, but she was able to get Jack and Lilly tucked in. What happened after that? Maybe we will never know. But I do know one thing. Lilly had a cough. Their last day of school was Tuesday. Wednesday was like a teacher's day or a holiday. And they were checked out of school for Thursday and Friday morning. Did Maleya check on Jack and Lilly that morning? That's been one of my questions. If you're going to mark your children absent, aren't you going to check on them first to make sure that they're not sick anymore? Or we were never told that, right? We were just told that she marked them absent from school, not that they were still sick. Daniel said that he sat in a car with one of the RCMP officers, and the RCMP officer said, "Hey, would you had sent Jack and Lilly to school today?" And Daniel said he would have. How did he know that they weren't sick anymore? That's my question. That's my question. How would he know if he didn't see them from the night before, right? I mean, he did see Lilly for just a brief second. I guess she had opened the door to their bedroom, and she was trying to say something, but he was telling her to shush, so she wouldn't wake up the toddler, Jack and Lily's half-sister. Jack and Lilly are still missing. It's coming up on a year now. A year on May 2nd. Do you think that Jack and Lilly will be located before the year's end? Let me know down below. And I appreciate all of you for taking the time to watch this video. Please share this video out so Jack and Lilly can be found. I thank you all very much for watching this episode of Daphne's Detention. Have a wonderful day.